Hi, I'm Ciana. Hi, I'm Grace. And welcome to another single step East Coast swing demonstration lesson video. Woo! Today we're going to be going over two different moves. The first one is called the bow and arrow, so let's get into that. So starting off in your normal position, remember our basic step was rock, step, 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 rock, step. So the bow and arrow looks like this. Woo! You did it! So let's describe how to do that. So the first thing we're going to do is only deal with our arms. So we're going to raise our arms like this. Now here's the complicated part. Leads, you're going to take your left hand and turn to your left, placing your hand behind your head.
And then for follows, you're going to raise your left hand, bring it behind your head while bringing your right foot to the side so you're like hip to hip with your lead.
So then we look like this. And it feels a little awkward, but you're not there for very long. So don't worry. So we'll go through that again. So just like this, so out, and then you need to place your hand behind your head, like touching your neck. So that for everybody rotating. Yep. Good. And then from here, first we'll just do a basic slide out. Cool. So there are a couple of things you can do from here. So we're in this really interesting cross hand grip, which you can use for a lot of different moves. So the first thing that we're going to do is sort of just like an inside turn. So I'm going to take my right arm as a lead and turn my follow. Yay! Woo! That was cool. So again, the whole thing would be the bow and arrow. So hands behind your head. We're just going to slide away from each other. And I'm going to take my hand, and this is my right hand. It's going to my right, up and around, creating a halo around the follower's head. And then on the way back, generally I will just drop their hand into my left hand. That way we're back in this normal grip, and we don't have to mess anything up. So one more time. Here, back. You can technically kind of spin either way, but the most comfortable spin that you're going to be able to do from here would be this one.
Yep, and what follows while you're going under, you'll start to notice that as the lead brings their hand down, there's like a brief pause where no one's touching your hand. Just let that lead guide your motion, and they'll bring their other hand to you. You don't have to worry about finding it.
You're welcome.
Makes my job easy.
So that was the first one I really like. So the second thing we're going to do is some dramatic flicks. That looks like this. Cool. So technically we can do as many of those as possible, but typically there's 2 flicks and then 1 push, which will look like this. Flick, flick, and the lead will offer typically their shoulder. You could offer your chest if you'd like, and then the follower will press on and away, and then we will reconnect here. So without awkwardly stopping, in the middle, flick, flick, push, and reconnect.
And then follows, you will be pushing, if they offer their shoulder, you'll push their shoulder, and you'll use your right hand to do that. You don't want to do this whole crossbody thing because then you've lost the connection, because then when we try to slide out, we're in this funky position. So you want to keep it on the same side.
Fixed it.
And then she...
So from there, there are some variations. Again, like I said, we can do as many flicks as we want to. It'll look awkward if you do it for too long, probably. So one of the options for something called a hijack would be, instead of doing what we usually do, either partner, not both, generally if that doesn't work, can do this come follow me motion, and it can be kind of like a fun way to connect to your partner in the dance. So again, that would just be like flick, flick, and then either of you, yeah. And so whoever's not doing it, so if Grace were deciding to take this hijack, I would just have to follow her this way, and off camera, I guess.
Yes. Sorry about that.
So, yeah. So then the final variation that we have is a dip. So I'm very excited about dips, but before we talk about dips, I have to talk about how you do them properly. So before you do a dip with anyone that you're dancing with in a social situation, you want to make sure that they are 100% okay with being dipped. Because any case where you are not 100% in control of your own body and your own weight can be scary for some people. and they might just not like it. So before you go for the dip, just make sure that you ask if they're comfortable. Grace, are you comfortable?
I am comfortable.
Awesome. So we're gonna start with the bow and arrow. Slide out. So we're gonna do that same kind of turn that we did at the beginning. So up and around. Now here's where it's gonna get really fun. So the leads are gonna bring their arm down as the follower continues to spin. So you wanna make sure that your hand connection is kind of loose so that you're not gripping so hard that you can't rotate around each other's arms. So they're gonna keep spinning and you're gonna twist your wrist. Now, followers, as you twist, you need to make sure that you bring the outside of your wrist to somewhere in your mid-back that is comfortable for you.
Yes, and then so the follows, you're kind of guiding that motion because you know where it's comfortable for your arm to be there. The goal is to make it, as you bring it lower to your like mid-back, is make it comfortable for your arm and that you can keep turning because the motion is still going and the lead doesn't know exactly where that is for you, so just put where you're comfortable. So for here, if I keep spinning, this is where it's comfortable, my arm doesn't hurt, but we still have that connection.
Yeah, so just rotating to show where that is, it's like about here on the mid-back. Okay, good. So as we continue to spin, we get into this position. Now I can take this arm and collect Grace over here and then do the dip. So here's the fun thing about dips. You can determine exactly how low you want the dip to be based on how much you trust your partner. So for example, if I'm just here, Grace can lean herself back completely, and I'm really just here for show, and I didn't really do anything. But if you're more comfortable with your partner, leads can take out this is your left leg, do a little bit of a lunge, and then you can take some of the follower's weight, and then make sure that you support it with your whole body, leaning them towards your leg down here, and then you can lift the leg for show, and it's cute. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention is when you throw in the bow and arrow. So on the rock step, I will prep in, and then as we're going step, step, here, that's where I'm going behind myself, and then the rock step will be out. So do just basic rock step, here, out. And then we can do any of these other things that we just did.
Yes. And then important thing can we get to where we're about to do the dip?
Look at it. We're about to do the dip. What were we doing?
So go into the dip without actually doing the dip. So we were prepping. So we keep going through the motion, keep going, and then we're here. So my left hand is on the lead's right shoulder. And as you dip back, I'm not like trying to pull my lead down with me. I'm more using that to keep my upper body, at least keeping it straight as a board, so that when I go back, I'm using my core and my legs to be able to hold myself up. Because if I can let go of this hand, I'm doing good.
Yeah, that was helpful. Good tip.
Gotta use your core.
Oh wait. So yeah, I think that's it. Comment on this video if you have any questions.
Yeah.